Hello music fans, welcome back to the Death by Unicorn channel. This is my show called What's New 2024, where I talk about new albums that come out in metal, rock, and prog. Today I'm going to talk about 5 albums that I listened to that came out on February 9th, 2024. And I'll talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Infected Rain and Time. This is the 6th album by this band from Moldova. It's a metalcore band. They have some new metal, some groove metal, alternative metal, and melodic death metal influences thrown in there. And this is an excellent one. They've got a powerful female lead vocalist, Lena Scissorhands, who can both sing and scream. I enjoy her vocals in all the projects I've heard her in. Mostly I've heard previous Infected Rain albums, as well as some albums by Death Dealer Union, but I know she's worked with several other bands in addition to those two. The early single that I heard from this album is called Never to Return. That one has a Middle Eastern flavor to it. It features awesome screaming and singing. Upon first listen, that's my favorite track on the album as well. So they picked a good single, but it's a very consistent album. All the tracks are good. So if you like metalcore, and in particular you like female-fronted metalcore bands, definitely recommend checking out Infected Rain and their album Time. Next, I want to talk about Pineapple Thief and their album It Leads to This. This is the 15th album by this band from the UK, and I remember when I was talking about upcoming album releases that I was going to check out, I was surprised that they had 15 albums. I thought, oh, that must be a typo. I didn't know they had so many. I haven't listened to their entire discography. I've checked out a few here and there, and every song that I've heard by them I like. This is a progressive rock band with alternative rock influences. It's a band started by Bruce Sword, and if you're a fan of Porcupine Tree, it also features the great Gavin Harrison, who is also from Porcupine Tree, on drums. And Pineapple Thief has a similar progressive rock sound with a focus on great, clear production and top-notch songwriting, accessible, catchy hooks and riffs. So if you're a fan of Porcupine Tree, I think you'll like the Pineapple Thief. The drums are awesome, especially on the track Rubicon. So that was my favorite song on first listen because the drums stood out there to me. But again, it's a very consistent album. All the tracks are good. It's not flashy progressive rock with a lot of virtuosity or quirkiness or anything like that. It's just a bunch of good songs. They have good melodies, harmonies, good chord progressions, some interesting rhythms and time signatures and riffs. It's not pushing many boundaries sonically or genre-wise, but it's just great to listen to. So that's the second one I want to talk about. Third album that I listened to from February 9th that I want to talk about is Chelsea Wolfe and her album She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She. This is the 7th album by this American musician, and it's really hard to pin down what genre to classify her as. It's kind of like experimental art rock, but there's electronic, there's pop, there's folk, there's like doom metal and gothic metal and sludge metal and post metal, industrial metal influences all in there as well. Now, the first 2 albums that I talked about, I'd put in like my excellent tier. Now we're starting to get to like very good, not quite excellent. I feel like this is a very good album from Chelsea Wolfe. I don't quite put it in the excellent classification. It's probably a me problem and not a her problem. It's not my preferred style, so I probably won't return to this too much. But I do really respect what she's doing. I listened to 4 of the singles ahead of time, and I thought they were all excellent. So I think she picked great singles. She has really great vocals on here. There's a really unique atmosphere to what she's doing. I think if you're a fan of stuff like Nine Inch Nails, Converge, Cult of Luna, Billie Eilish, Bjork, and Evanescence, she sounds like a mix of those artists, like all combined together. And I know that's quite an eclectic mix. It's a very good album, just not my preferred style, so I probably won't return to it much. But check out Chelsea Wolfe, She Reaches Out to She Reaches Out to She, if this sounds interesting to you. Next up, also a very good EP by Hans Grossmann, and it's called Echoes of Eternity. This is technical death metal. He's a German drummer. He plays for the German progressive band Alkaloid, which is an awesome band, and they featured fairly high up in my top albums of 2023 video with their album Newman, which was awesome, progressive death metal, just a really awesome album. He was also the drummer during Necrophagist's Epitaph era, and he played with Obscura as well. So Hans Grossmann is a very accomplished drummer. I listened to an early single from this EP, and it was really brutal, fast, technical. So I checked out the whole EP. It really never lets up the whole time. It's just, if you like technical death metal music that just pummels you, you're going to like this because it's tech death executed at a top-notch level. If you don't like technical death metal, then you're not going to like this at all. So definitely avoid it in that case. But I think fans of technical death metal will love this EP, so check it out if you're interested. And last one I'm going to talk about is a collaborative album between Yellowcard and Hammock called The Hopeful Sign. This is post-rock with ambient, pop, alternative, emo, kind of pop-punk influences all in there. And now, I don't even think this quite makes it to very good. I'm just going to call this good. It's the 11th album by Yellowcard and the 13th album by Hammock. It's kind of weird with these collaborative albums. Yellowcard's more of a pop punk band, and then Hammock is more of a post rock band. And I think the story here is that Yellowcard simply sent Hammock a lead vocal and piano version of classic Yellowcard songs, and then Hammock added the atmospheric ambient post rock soundscapes around it. And I'm not really sure why I decided to check this out because I've never really been a fan of either band, but I remember Yellowcard's big hit Ocean Avenue from 2003. I was 13 years old at the time. I thought it sounded pretty cool. I liked that song at the time because I liked a lot of pop punk stuff at that time. And then I heard the remade version of Ocean Avenue for this album. I also thought that sounded pretty cool, done in a post-rock style. So that got me to check out the whole album. It's a good album when you're listening to it because it's relaxing music with catchy and emotional melodies over top. It's just not something I feel I'll want to revisit because it's just good. It's not very good. It's not that exciting or really even that interesting to me. As far as post-rock goes, I think there's much better stuff out there. And even as far as the pop punk songwriting and melodies go, I think there's better stuff out there that I'd rather spend my time with. But if you want a hit of nostalgia, if you're a fan of Yellowcard and Hammock, I think you should still give it a spin. Check out A Hopeful Sign. Listen to it if you're interested in that kind of thing. And that's it for my first impressions on these 5 albums that came out on February 9th, 2024. What did you think of these albums? Let me know in the comments down below. And was there anything else that you liked that came out recently that you think I should check out? Also let me know. And stay tuned for next time. Peace out.